You wake up one morning, go to the kitchen, open the fridge, and half of your usual food is simply gone. No strawberries, no apples, no almonds, no coffee. Even many vegetables you eat every week have disappeared. The shelves aren't completely empty, but they look strange, repetitive, almost colorless. And this isn't because of war, or climate collapse, or a broken supply chain. It's because bees are gone. If bees disappeared, food would never be the same again. And most people have no idea how deep that change would go. If you like videos that reveal the hidden systems running your everyday life, make sure you subscribe and leave a like. It helps more than you think. Now here's the truth that surprises most people. Bees are not important because of honey. Honey is tiny compared to their real job. Their real job is pollination. When a bee lands on a flower, it isn't just drinking nectar. Pollen sticks to its body. When it flies to another flower of the same type, it accidentally transfers that pollen. And that small transfer is what allows many plants to produce fruit. No pollination, no fruit. This is where most people get confused. They think plants just grow food, but fruits and many vegetables are actually the result of a plant reproducing. And reproduction often requires pollen to move from one flower to another. Bees are like flying bridges between plants. Without them, that bridge collapses. Now here's where it gets serious. About 1/3 of the world's food crops depend heavily on animal pollinators, and bees are the most efficient of them all. Apples, blueberries, almonds, cucumbers, pumpkins, cherries, coffee, cocoa. Even crops you don't directly eat, like alfalfa, rely on bees, and alfalfa feeds livestock, so even meat and dairy would feel the impact. Food wouldn't disappear overnight, that's the important part. The world wouldn't instantly starve, but variety would shrink dramatically. Here's what surprises most people. Grains like wheat, rice, and corn don't rely on bees. They're wind-pollinated, so calories would still exist, but nutrition would collapse. Without fruits, nuts, and many vegetables, our diets would become heavily dependent on basic starches. More bread, more rice, more processed substitutes, less vitamins, less diversity, less flavor. Prices would skyrocket for anything that still requires pollination. Some farmers might try hand pollinating, which already happens in parts of the world where bee populations have declined. But hand pollinating crops is incredibly slow and expensive. Imagine replacing millions of bees with human labor. It doesn't scale. And then comes the ripple effect most people never think about. Bees don't just pollinate crops, they pollinate wild plants, flowers, forests, plants that feed insects, insects that feed birds, birds that spread seeds, small mammals that depend on those plants. Remove bees and ecosystems begin to unravel. This wouldn't be an instant apocalypse. It would be something slower and possibly more dangerous. A gradual thinning of biodiversity, fewer flowering plants, fewer insects, fewer birds, less resilience in nature. Here's where expectations break again. Bees are not the only pollinators. There are butterflies, beetles, bats, even hummingbirds. But bees are uniquely efficient because they intentionally collect pollen. Many other pollinators transfer pollen accidentally. Bees specialize in it. They evolved for it. That's why their disappearance would leave a massive gap. Now let's talk about economics. Agriculture is one of the largest industries on Earth. Pollination services alone are worth hundreds of billions of dollars globally. Without bees, farmers would face lower yields and higher costs. Consumers would see higher prices. Governments would scramble to subsidize production. Food inequality would widen. The wealthiest countries might adapt with technology and imports. Poorer regions would suffer first and hardest. And here's the deeper truth most people overlook. Bees are an indicator. When bee populations decline, it usually signals environmental stress, pesticide overuse, habitat destruction, monoculture farming, climate shifts. So if bees disappear, it's not just about bees. It's a warning that the system supporting life is under severe strain. The scary part, bee populations in some regions have already dropped dramatically in recent decades. not extinct, but stressed, which means this isn't just a hypothetical scenario. It's a reminder. Food feels permanent when it's on a shelf, but behind every apple, every almond, every cup of coffee, there's an invisible chain of tiny workers making it possible, and most of us never think about them. If bees vanished, we wouldn't just lose foods, we would lose colors, flavors, textures, seasonal variety, the richness of choice we've come to expect as normal. Food would become simpler, more repetitive, more industrial, less alive. And maybe that's the most unsettling part. Not sudden collapse, but quiet reduction, a slow narrowing of what's possible. So the next time you see a bee hovering near a flower, it's not just a small insect doing something random, it's maintaining one of the most complex food systems on the planet. Tiny body, massive impact. If this changed the way you see something as ordinary as a grocery shelf, leave a like, share this with someone who loves food, and subscribe for more explanations that uncover the hidden systems shaping our world. Because sometimes the simplest things hide the most misunderstood truths.